All right, folks, thanks for watching that commercial break. We are good to go, though, with the series whenever Super joins us. So I guess he just needs a moment or two here, contemplating how he'll take on the behemoth known as Snute.
He's probably contemplating taking a drink, going to the bathroom.
That's possible, too. I got to say, there's a very distinctly dark thing happening on your camera right now. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just because my room is so incredibly white and bright, but like I'm looking at the stream right now, and it's just like it is literally black and white between you and me right now.
Oh, interesting. I could probably actually. I don't know where I've left the settings on my webcam because it's been so wacky today.
It's been zany and all over the place.
Yeah, I turned off the right light because it would bloom.
Oh, yay! There you are again. Hi, Zombie Grub.
So now that I guess it's not blooming anymore for the reason I did in the first place, and I got the blackout curtain. So today I used the curtains to hide looking into my window for the roofers.
Stupid roofers! Don't look at me.
Oh, look at me!
All right. Well, Snute may be just intimidating everyone into going AFK, but hopefully Super won't be too long. This is, again, really unfortunate about what happened with the Lycanine. Feels bad, man, but it is what it is. So, for those who don't know about the prizing for the Corsair Cup, 3rd and 4th place do not boast an incredibly high prize pool, but it is still $10 for everyone going forward at this point. There's $20 for 2nd place in the tournament and $60 for 1st place. But the big thing is, and the important thing is, that this all leads into the monthly finals that has $400 in prizing and a considerably larger prize pool over there. So each month, it's about 3 weeklies leading into 1 grand finals. By the way, thank you for having such a fun name to pronounce, Frabadoodle. Frabadoodle. Frabadabadoodle for the new sub. Thanks for joining us, man. But looks like Super is here. He's good to go. I'm ready. Let's hop into Newkirk Precinct. See you guys in game in just a moment. All right, back in action for the Corsair Cup, powered by Twitch. Once again, guys, it's a total sellout before we do the intros. Please consider A, buying Corsair Gear, and then B, doing it through our affiliate links down below. It helps Zombie and I get a bit of extra cash, and it makes Corsair happy because, hey, their investment is paying off with BaseTradeTV. The unfortunate thing that I've learned about, though, is people are still very inclined to just use Amazon, and that's totally fine. So if you're going to use Amazon, at least use our Amazon affiliate links. But consider shopping through the website because it helps out us a ton. Regardless, though, as we get into game number 1, this is the semifinals of the first Corsair Cup for Season 3. In the bottom right, we have the Red Zerg player from Team Liquid. Give it up for Snute.
In the bottom left is the Blue Protoss. He is Super. He's teamless, I believe.
Might be, yeah.
I think so. I don't even remember what team he was on.
He wasn't one of those foreign teams for a while, I think, right? Like, maybe not Dead Pixels, but like something like that. Hang on, let me go look this up. I'll make sure you... Oh, it was Invasion a while ago, and then I guess...
I do remember that.
Went through Spenu and then a Freak of Freaks, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was either a Freak of Freaks or MVP. I just threw it out for the guess there.
Oh, Jesus. Thank you, Funky Monkey, 2012 for the $50.
Okay, so you got me.
How much charity money do we have to raise for a drinking stream, Kappa?
We did one kind of recently, so probably a lot. I mean, like, I did one even more recently.
The thing is, like, drinking streams are really fun in concept, but they need to be shorter. Because like the first 2.5 hours of that drinking stream we did was seriously like a lot of fun. It was in fact some of the most fun I've had just chilling out on a cast with you guys in a while, Zombie Up as well. But then afterwards it was just painful, and I had a headache, and I was just not feeling good, man. It was just like
to keep being drunk for the entire stream is, I think, where it really gets kind of annoying. It just gets gross and sort of sober up, and yeah, I don't know.
You realize the bad choices that you've made.
Yeah, it would have to be a lot of money to do it, I think.
By the way, I don't know if this is for real or this is just trying to make me feel good, but Juvia Loxer69 in chat says, BaseTradeTV, I just ordered a Corsair headset because of your excellent sales pitch.
There you go, man.
If you did, that's really awesome, and I'll tell you what, you're not going to regret it. I actually recommend, like, off of stream, when I'm not, like, in salesman mode, right? I actually recommend the headset to everybody. It is, like, the keyboard and the mouse, it's not going to be your own preference, but I will tell you, you won't find a better wireless headset. This thing is amazing.
Yeah, it's very good. I have an Adept attack in here, get some scouting, not so bad. I mean, really, they're both macroing up, and Resident Englaves the War Prism. Well, that could turn into an attack, so I guess we'll pay attention there, but not, you know, any exposure to gateways quite yet. But I saw some people talk about it, I guess, with the whole other topic that's been going on. But they brought up those calculators. Did you have to buy that brick of a calculator when you were in high school, like a TI's?
Oh, yeah, and it costs like $100 or something, too. What do they call, like, technical or scientific calculators or something? Like
something like that, I think. Force Walker's gonna die with that as a wall.
You know, it was just the most expensive Tetris machine I ever had. That's
seriously,
what we did. We loaded Tetris into it, just played it, and that was it.
Well, even if you didn't add on the games, which honestly at least made it somewhat more worth the money, if you only used it for the math class they told you to buy it for, I rarely use the the more complicated buttons.
This is getting troubles. If Snute had followed this up like Alice Scarlet style and had done something like put a drop overlord ready to go, I would have loved this actually.
So what actually is kind of tricky about that is that might have done a lot more damage and maybe even killed like a very important pylon. But funnily enough, Super is like, he was like just 5 seconds away from having a lot of gateways to actually defend that. So it would have maybe countered it would have maybe countered a bit too hard. Can't speak today. Obviously it's a drunk stream. And well, that might have been a mistake, but Stu didn't overdedicate with Lings, and he's already on his way to Roaches, and I don't think he's seen all of the gateways. He saw how many were put in the front, and if he just checked again, he would see that they weren't canceled, which is kind of a tell in itself. And I think he even saw the War Prism come across, so it's very close to seeing 7 Adepts warp in.
I mean, he knows about the 3 at the front door. That's part of the wall off, sure. But yeah, missing the back 3 is kind of a big detail, and it's unfortunate. This is, by the way, off of a player, Snute, who I would say had been fairly regularly going for Overlord speed, specifically for scouting. So that's a bit odd. But anyways, crazy big Adept warping coming in, and Snute is maybe prepared for this. I say maybe with like an asterisk because like there's no Banelings for this. There's not really Ravagers out and ready to go. It's Roaches, Queens, and Lings, and this is not going to be a fun fight to take.
No, it kind of sucks, honestly, to not, you know, best case scenario, you're already on the Adepts. You don't let them transfer through without doing some damage first, but they do transfer through and are now being attacked. But I do think that Lings and Roaches, as long as they're Speedlings, are still a good combo of units. Only Roaches or only Lings against an Adept all in, and I think you're in trouble. These Roaches will even have speed in like 30 seconds. Which I think will be helpful here, as Super is not going to be backing off this anytime soon. Especially
trying to chase these down, right? Like, even then, just reinforcing from that third base, which is so far away, or the main base even. But Adepts transfer through, and Snoot's on top of it. He transfuses the Ravager. He wants to keep that alive a little bit longer. Unfortunately, could not. Drones get pulled. I love the hold position, actually. If these were on auto attack, the Adepts would have shot them no problem. Super had to focus fire them down. There's some nice last-second control out of Snute, but he's still not out of the hot water yet. There's a lot of Adepts still needing to be cleaned up. But for Super, this is so dedicated, so all in.
It's starting to work, though. Like, Snute can lose about 20 workers and still be able to maybe recover, because he would keep Super off at third base for so long and, you know, drone while that was happening. But any more than that, and Snute wasn't at, like, 70 drones, man. He was at, like, barely even 50.
And he's still bleeding a lot out.
Yeah, he still has one shot to try and counter and keep Super on his own bad economy, but it's really running out here, man. Like, especially if Super starts building Immortals back at home and starts warping in at home. I think he wants a couple more drones to really solidify the opportunity, but unfortunately he's not going to get them. So 27 drones, when everything is said and done, is like still questionable.
But this is where you get the time to do a really awesome counterattack. Again, there wasn't a lot left at home by Super.
Awkward.
He has to take down one of his gates. I mean, he's got like 4 more, right? But the
point
is,
the Immortal was on the wrong side. What are you doing? Ooh, I don't know about this.
Super, I think, was trying to hope to bluff Snute a bit and be like, Snute, you're too scared to push out, so I'll take a third. And rightfully so. Snute is turning around from this, but
I think that's really bad, actually. I mean, there's some assumption probably that there's sentries, and you're always gonna have trouble breaking a Protoss with sentries, but there weren't any sentries. He has speed to get on top of the Immortal.
Yeah, and like it was one immortal, a good chunk of stalkers, but I feel like a Ling reinforcement, instead of investing in more drones, would have easily taken care of that. So Snute choosing to play macro, I mean, I understand this. This is Snoot's comfort zone, right? Like, this is his safety blanket. He's really good at macro when it comes to StarCraft 2, but maybe this is the game that wasn't the right choice to go for. I feel like there was certainly an opportunity there.
Yeah, I agree. It's a hard thing to call, to be honest, because at the very least, I would have liked Snute to pressure Super a little bit more, even if he didn't commit to an attack. Because I feel like, well, Snute, yeah, he's great. He's like, back up the 51 drones. He really made up those drones very quickly. Super also got his own kind of macro game going, too. It might still favor Snute in the end. We're about to watch, actually, as Super tries to push forward here, but we'll see. Super, stopped producing probes despite having a third base, so he's going to transfer whatever he can over there and just dedicate to this push.
I love that half the chat's still talking about the potential drunk stream and the other half are talking about the calculators still, by the way. All right, looks like Zealot's going to get finally cleaned up. These Lings are doing what they can. It's a little bit messy, but they get the job done. Coming to the front side, though, that's a lot of roaches that do all focus fire down the Immortal. The Ravagers take out the Warp Prism, so there's no reinforcements. GG. Snute. You know, I really didn't think he'd bring that back. Like, he took a lot of damage. I was worried about his choice to macro, but you know what? It worked out, and he takes that game.
Yeah. I do think he would have, like, Super would have loved to get, like, even, like, an additional 7 drones with that attack, and I wonder about the way he took that engagement, too. You know, he didn't seem to really be utilizing any specific attack path, but yeah. Nice, stable game, I suppose, by Snute. Didn't panic, even after losing 24 drones, 27 drones.
Oh, damn. Shout out to Joey, by the way. I guess he's already got most of the VODs up on YouTube. Crazy guy.
That's cool. Are the times for tourneys on the spreadsheet updated for the upcoming week? Are you talking about the Google spreadsheet? I don't know. Yes. There's actually supposed to be a Google Calendar provided to you all soon.
Yeah, so in fairness, this is a little bit on me for that being delayed, because mods were like, hey, we should do this, and it's a great solution, and I was like, yeah, I'll do that, and then I end up shit posting IEM all weekend, so my bad. But the point is, yeah, the Google Calendar should be coming up. We should get something a little bit going. Again, like, we recognize that you guys really want us to have our public schedule easier to read, easier to access, and it sucks because we had such a nice one for a while. It's just been complacency, honestly, that's been holding us back, but we're on it. We're working on it. So, by the way, we did have that wonderfully generous $50 donation from Funky Monkey. We also had Frankenfurter for the 14 months. I can't say that name without an accent. I cannot read that name. Like, I can...
Frankenfurter.
Furter. But I can't say it. It's like Frankenfurter.
Juror.
Anyways, thank you for the 4-month resub, man. It says, hi, folks. Hello. We can't play the intro right now, so we'll just hop into this one as we get to Abyssal Reef for game number 2. Again, here in the semifinals, we wait to see what the other semifinals is looking like. As an update to the bracket, Raynor actually beat Denver, which was pretty impressive. He's playing against Keen presently. Other side, we got Braddock versus Billowy. So it's a pretty good mix of players down there, honestly. I don't know who ends up... I want to say it'd be really cool to see Braddock versus Raynor, but Billowy and Keen are also Korean.
That's true. That they are.
All right. Thank you to Satet68 for the 13-month resub. Says, I just got my real Partouf in the mail today. Thanks. Dude, do us a favor. Like, I'm serious. When you guys get your Partoufs, please just tweet us pictures. Even if you don't have a Twitter, take 5 seconds and make one. Tweet us pictures of your Partoufs. We love seeing that shit. Some people put them on the keyboard. Some people just put them in a necklace. Some people have done just the Partouf in their hand. Either way, I love seeing when you guys get the Partoufs. Anyways, game number 2 here for the Corsair Cup. Bottom right side. He's down a game at the moment. It's the Red Zerg player, Super.
In the top left is the Blue Zerg. He is Liquid Snute.
And Higgins just sent for 22 months to say, yay, me! Yay, you!
Woo!
It's really nice having all the subs coming. Because you know what? I thought about this. It is more of a shower thoughts moment. But if we had like 100 subscribers, like let's say that's... Oh, God.
That's insane.
That takes us back 3 years, right? But let's say we only had like 100 subscribers. That means we'd have like 1 new sub and like maybe 1 resub per stream. Not even sometimes.
Maybe. Yeah.
And Rifkin would have to talk about the goddamn game, and that would just be horrible. I don't want to go. I don't want to go back to that life, guys.
There have certainly been times there's something to talk about, and you're like, oh, thank God someone just subbed.
Yeah, actually, silliness aside, because we've had those moments, like when we're doing the VSL finals, when we did the Elima League finals, like, we didn't really have access to our sub feed, so we couldn't show people out during the cast and stuff. But I like that those are. It almost feels more special. Like when we're doing an event where we're not doing sub shoutouts, I feel like it's because people realize like how important that event is. But no, I agree. There are some times where seriously, there's just fucking nothing going on. You're like, hey, thank you ESC or ACSM for the 25-month resub. Just throw it in there.
Someone says they haven't watched a stream in a while. 11BC2. Will we be doing any Brood War tournaments in the future? I don't know. I actually don't know why you asked that question, but the answer is no.
I mean, the thing is, like, it's a fair question to ask if you've really been out of it. But the thing is, like, Zombie and I talked about it. We tried branching out to things like Overwatch. We've messed around with other games. The reality is, though, at the end of the day, like, I really enjoy coming back to StarCraft. Maybe there's a bit of comfort because it's what we know, but there's obviously an audience for it. And, well, sure, it would be nice to have a stream that has like 40,000 viewers and swap over to Dota 2 or something. I really like our StarCraft community.
Well, I know there's a lot of people that really like Brood War, and StarCraft 2, believe it or not, but they would like to see more Brood War tournaments being produced. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool and all. And I know there's people that do it. But I'm pretty sure any time that we've talked about it, yeah, Rifkin's always been like, yeah, I don't really like it. And I've just been like, I don't really care enough to do it. And that's kind of where it is. So.
Like, clarity here, guys, I saw my first ever Brood War match when I was in Korea with Zombie Grub. And I was like, oh, it was a cool experience, but I wasn't like super hyped for it. I was a lot more interested in those K-pop girls beforehand, to be honest.
Hey, am I right?
That one with the ponytail? Anyways, the point is, Brood War, I'm sure, is great for many, and I have nothing negative to say about it. It's just not for me, is all it comes down to.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no... I think maybe some of the questions have to do with, like, what people perceive as, like, an upheaval of Brood War in the foreign scene, and it's just, like...
J-Dong's just popular.
Yeah, popular. Yeah. It still isn't really hitting, I guess. But anyways... That aside, there were a lot of links produced by Snute, and Super needs to get a secondary wall off. He gets it just in the nick of time. He could finish Warp Gate, especially if he Chrono Boosted it. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Warp Gate element of this aside, it's still going to be tough losing that Cyber Core. You want to be able to make adepts. You want to be able to make in sentries and whatever you need to stop these links from getting through. But Snute he went right back to droning with this, so...
Oh, that wasn't a wall.
No, that was not a wall. But the thing is, like, this has still got limited damage to it. There's a finite amount of kills this should be able to get. And for Snute, because he doesn't have like another round of legs coming in, I don't think it's going to be the end of the game.
Yeah. I mean, Snute...
Wonderful round on that Sokka, though.
He did damage by killing some X-Core and delaying any warping of further adepts or sentries, but he didn't kill the Dark Shrine, which is what Super's really going to be using tech-wise. So, I would say it wasn't too successful of an attack there. It didn't even depower any of the gateways, and yeah, it's annoying because it messed up Super's build. He should probably have 2 more gateways right now. Yeah, he's like one's not in a warp gate. He still can produce DTs, and he didn't lose that many probes.
Yeah, that guy just... Dude, that probe's got 1 kill on him. What a baller.
Yeah, he can go, brag to all his probe friends.
And he just goes right back to work, too. This guy's got, work ethics like crazy.
Yeah, exactly. DTs are being warped in now, but I think Snute already built spore crawlers, yeah, and built some roaches already too. So it wasn't gonna be one of those situations where you only have a couple of queens and you die anyways. So he should be good to go. And droning is definitely what you have to do right now. Yeah, Super's not even gonna try and do the DT thing. Expanding behind us. Yep, expanding behind us. My cat's in the way. On the monitor. Yep. I play a little bit of guesswork when Apollo comes in. But right, as long as Super keeps up with Snute's macro, then this can be fun and not doing too much damage. Unfortunately, Super's getting his 3rd base as Snute's getting his 4th, and Snute's has enough units already to deal with this, so he doesn't really need that many more. Yeah, he can go back into droning.
Warp Prism pushed off. This is, okay, so this is something where we saw this earlier be a little bit lame, a little bit ineffective versus Namshar. But the Warp Prism, I guess, didn't end up being the biggest influence on the game. It was, of course, the follow-up in the way the game played out. So, I don't know, like, watching Super not get a lot of Archon kills and do a lot, like, with his Warp Prism, I think is bad for most players. But, again, he won against a pretty good Zerg player without doing much already.
Yeah. It's only bad if you delay expanding, I think.
Holy shit.
Oh.
I thought Walgren was just dicking around in chat being a tease, so I called him out for being a tease, but I didn't realize he was being legit about this. Can we take a moment, ladies and gentlemen, to give Walgren78 a big round of applause? If you're a sub in BaseTradeTV, get those Tasia claps out. If you're not a sub, just throw some hearts down. The guy just gave us basically $100 for those bits. 10,000 bits coming in to say, here are some donations for the next drunk stream. The last was awesome. Hope to make it sooner rather than later. Oh, I'll tell you what, dude, that's some motivation right there. We actually, so as the game progresses, I'll just say we actually have a really stacked schedule for the next while. But we have a potentially fun event middle of the month that maybe we could turn into a drunk stream. Maybe. Maybe.
Maybe.
You know, there's a liquor store actually like right next to that 24-hour Subway that I got all excited about.
Oh
so,
boy.
Yo, I suppose the shadow of the warp prism doesn't match the warp prism. Oh wait, yes it does. Never mind. Rip. But anyways, yeah, the liquor store's right there. So like it wouldn't normally I get stuck with that Kraken rum because I can't go spend half an hour walking to like the nearest liquor store. No, here's like 3 minutes. I can be an alcoholic if I want to be an alcoholic.
What are you gonna buy?
Not 40%, 47% rum.
You're gonna get those cocktails, man. Bit unfortunate to lose that Archon. That was definitely just a mistake on pathing and the Warp Prism not wanting to go near that Spore Crawler. They're taking so much damage. Snute's getting his mutas to help take care of the Warp Prism as well. And while Super Smacker was not bad, I think it was a little bit more delayed than Snute's, despite, you know, Snute opening the way that he did and not doing too much damage. But not like by any concernable amounts. They're actually at a pretty even point in the ZvP, all things considered.
Yeah, a concern I have though is this is priority on charge lots, so there's no blink. This was a similar problem we saw with Namshar, so chasing down the mutas is going to be a pain. I actually really like that he took the time to try and knock down the rocks because he knew this would happen. He would get choked into an odd spot and be hard to respond, so... unfortunately, doesn't quite get the rocks down just yet. Muta's going to fly in. There's cannons coming down here and there. I mean, I will say I like this. He did this before as well, where there was a considerable amount of cannons invested to the mineral lines. We always talk about this. Like, it chopped out 7 to 12 of Namshar's mutas. It might catch some of Snute's. But the point is, like, you spend 150 minerals on this cannon and don't lose 150 minerals worth of probes. That makes it worth it.
Yeah, this is kind of awkward of Snute to push in like that with the Lings. I mean, they're on top of an Archon and a bit of a concave, but... Alright, not too bad. Still breaking down those rocks, finally gets him. Has to go ahead and get that blink because these mutas becoming an increasing problem. It is not the case of 10 and
that
forget
Archon,
it.
though.
He's really dedicated.
That Archon, though. Oh, he's so
that
close.
Archon,
If he got like one more shot, that would have popped off so many of the
blinked,
mutas.
He would have gotten 5 more mutas while they were treated. Oh,
yeah,
that hurts.
But there was an interesting dynamic to this, though, where the Zealots with charge actually did a pretty good job chasing out the ground army. I thought getting charge first was going to be a mistake. That worked out pretty well for Super. So for Snute, like, as good as the mutas may be, and he's going ham on these mutas. This isn't like 8 for harass. There's more, there's upgrades, there's everything for this. The blink is still so far out. So while the charge worked well for that one fight, it's gonna be really tough not having it going forward. Mothership core got picked off, so there's no overcharges available, and chasing down these mutas is gonna be such a pain.
Yeah, blink is only it's not quite a band-aid, but it's only like somewhat like a step up from a band-aid when it comes to dealing with mutas. Like, Phoenix is the way that you're going to deal with mutas and not be forced into a base trade. Blink Stalkers, you're eventually going to have to push, and that might work. Those mutas might have to come back, and you might just win, and that's great. You bought time, you played a very safe, smart Protoss game, but in terms of defending multiple bases, it's going to get harder and harder for the person who's only a ground army to the person that has a massive air army.
Mutas clumped up. There's not that many Archons to even hit them in the first place. This choke, though, in the Sim City is working out really nicely for Super, but here we go. The mutas coming on in. They pick off the first line of anti-air, no problem. Stalkers blink off to the side, but there's just so many mutas. 24 of them still standing strong.
Yeah, I don't know about that other blink in. That other blink in was definitely questionable by Super. He needs not just a mass amount of muta or Stalkers to finally take an engagement, but also just to, like, kind of spread around here and actually really threaten the mutas whenever they dig a little too deep. So I'm going to add on quite a few more. +2 did finish, and he's on his way to +3. To Super's credit, his main and natural were never really under threat here, you know, where the important tech structures are.
You look at where he's killed, less than 10 on both sides. It's actually not that effective. But again, that's for Super. A big part of this is the cannons. Now, if this is like 8 mutas, the cannons stop them. When it's 24, maybe not the case. Plus, they've got upgrades on them, so focusing on the cannons won't take more by 2 volleys, and that's where the probes have to start considering running. Glaive Forms are just going to claim so many kills, so many lives of these poor little probes.
Yeah, unfortunately, the SimCity kind of hurts against Super here. Just the very awkward run-in, blink-in with the Blink Stalkers. And Oh, Stu takes advantage of it, kills 13 probes, gets out of there with most of his mutas. Did miss the Warp Prism, funnily enough, and that is, I think, the same Warp Prism from earlier on. I don't know how that survived, but it's going to be able to pull the mutas back.
By someone's asking, like, why I hate on Kraken. Yo, I am a pussy when it comes to drinking, okay? And I cannot handle 47% alcohol. It's too much.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, in terms of, like, alcohol that has flavor, you know, that's got some flavor, but also got some kick.
Also, for the gentleman in chat asking about when replay packs are sent out, pretty much after each event. So I got the replays from Zombie Grub from last night. We didn't send those out. So you'll get 2 replay packs today. You get the Corsair Cup replays, as well as last night's group created show match house thing. But fight comes down. A lot of mutas still standing. 32 of them come into the fight. And those Archons, they've got to pray for a miracle. They got to pray for some A moving and some auto moving and some not moving. Like, this is bad.
Yeah, a lot of clumping. Super didn't have a bad army, and he had really good upgrades, in fact, but the positioning was just a little off. You know, like the Stalkers blinked back after a few Banelings already connected, and well, it wasn't as ideal as it could have been, and he takes a massive loss because of it. Still on 4 bases, can remake an okay army, technically, but he would just continue having trouble against the mutas, so feeling very obligated to all in here.
Oh, and Snute threw down a ton of spine crawlers anticipating this. This is actually really impressive, but
yeah,
I'm surprised, I guess, that Super didn't opt to go for a double Stargate follow. I mean, like, it's worth it, I feel, when your opponent's gone for this many mutas, but I guess hoping the Archons will carry him. It's going to be a bit of a mistake. Archons on the backside get focused down by the mutas before they finish up. So many mutas spread out with that flock. Pick off that Warp Prism, fly away, and 35 still remain as the biggest burden that Super's going to have to deal with.
Yeah, it's an army you still have to dance around with all the Mortals and Archons. Pretty beefy units, but it's one that I think Snute could just overpower. Not much finesse.
I was watching Loco before he started streaming today, and someone asked him the greatest question in chat. It's if 2 vegetarians are fighting, do they still have beef?
I get it.
GG. Snute with the 2-0 moves on to the finals of this week's Corsair Cup.
I guess you missed it, but yesterday there was a very excellent pun, and
you didn't tell me. I love puns.
I have to set it up a little bit, but hopefully the humor will still come through. So I don't remember why. Oh, right. People were saying that my private lessons for Korean were like a euphemism. And I was like, if that was a euphemism, that'd be like interesting, right? And then I started pondering, shower thought, well, you know, way, and just like, are there people who pay prostitutes to like teach them? And how much would it cost?
Like,
would it be any cheaper?
Teach them how to prostitute?
No, well, yes, that too, I guess. But no, they teach them how to have sex, you know? Like, they're not so great at it, so they want some help.
You know what? Actually, I would say that's got to be a common. I've heard so many stories of people, like, they lose their virginity or their rich parents will, like, buy them.
You know, here's the real question, though, is, like, you know, does it cost less or does it cost more? And then someone said, I imagine it costs less because you're just giving them the tip.
I forgot this was a pun. I thought this was a real question. That was excellent. That was well done. Well played.
Yeah. I don't know. I was so excellent. I went back 4 minutes to shout it out.
What did the leper say to the prostitute? Keep the tip.
Oh,
that's gross. Anyways, guys, we're gonna go commercial break. The other matches are not done yet. So to give you an idea, ! brackets in chat will link you. You'll see Braddock is fighting against Billowy. Raynor is playing against Keen. Maybe we can hop into Game 2 or Game 3 of one of those sets if we're fast enough to catch them, or they might also all be in their final match right now. Either way, we can't start the other semifinals without them. So poor Snoot's going to have to wait for a little bit of time, and we'll go to a commercial break while we hopefully have some sort of result. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.